It's Friday, and I'm back with the next in our Fanzine Friday series. Today we're taking a look at First Encounter number 8. Please stick around. I'm AZ Mountaineer. This is our channel, Old School Rules, where we celebrate the community of old school gamers and grognards who like classic RPGs, miniatures, magazines, and everything that goes with it. Each week on the Fanzine Friday series, I take a fanzine from my collection off the shelf for a closer look. Today it's First Encounter number 8 from August of 1983. Hope you enjoy the video. We're continuing and rounding out our look at First Encounter. This fanzine was created by Kelly Villemaire up in Canada. It comes this size, sort of the same size as a module, 8.5 by 11. The pages are 11.5 by 17 folded in half, stapled on the side, and it's a full-sized, full-size sort of fanzine. They talk at times about their aspirations to actually make this a, sort of full-fledged professional magazine like Dragon and White Dwarf that they mention as being the inspiration for the kind of fanzine they're trying to create. The first, first few issues were free, and now we've got a price here. It's $2, and this, as I said, is the last one that they put out. They said they were going to put out an annual that would collect articles from issues 1 through 4, but pretty sure that never happened. In this issue, he's turned things over to John Frazer, who's responsible now for putting together the fanzine, while Kelly says he's sort of working on other things. Everything they put out was really good. They put out this adventure called The Lair of Medusa. They talked about a couple of other adventures. I really wish they'd put out more product because I've really enjoyed everything that I've seen that they've done. Let's take a look at the cover. Eric Hotz is back, and with the cover art, you can tell his style if you got used to that from the first few issues. As I've mentioned, there's usually a little bit of a theme to at least some of the articles, and this one is on execution and torture. Not my favorite topic, but that is what they did, and so Eric has this appropriately themed art here on the front with a guy holding out this guy's head. I really like Eric Holtz's art. I'm going to have to try and figure out where he went after this in terms of his art, because he clearly did a really good job. Here's our table of contents. We got an editorial from John Frazer, letters from folks, an article on chess, literally like just talking about who's going to play in the World Championship of Chess. Creature Quest, which are new monsters for RuneQuest. The Abyss is John Frazer's continuing look at different planes. No One Can Hear You Scream, which is a discussion of how to, some charts and stuff for torture. The Torturer / Executioner is an NPC class. Game reviews. An interview with Dave Sims, who is the driving force behind the anthropomorphic aardvark called Cerebus. They saw him at a convention and got an interview with him. Have You Ever Played, which is where they pick a particular race character class and you play through an adventure. Painting tips, this is from Eric Hotz. For Heroes Only, and then some trivia on board games and other types of games. For DMs Only, Cameron Munn's article and some suggestions for Dungeon Masters. Gamma Rays, new information about mutations in Gamma World. Panzer 2001 gives your traveler vehicles ability to have weapon or vehicle combat, and then an article by Eric Hotz again on Boot Hill. Kelly is a little bit involved, but doesn't do much in this particular one. John Frazer does quite a bit, and so does Eric. And then Cameron Munn, Robert Zuck, Gary Harper, Ian Batchelor, Chris Brayshaw, and Chris Douglas all make contributions. Here's John Frazer's editorial. It's the longest. It's called Short and Sweet, right? But it's the longest one we've ever had. But it's for John's first one, so I think he probably had a lot to say. So he talks just a little bit about what's going to be in the article. Asks people to send in their contributions. He says, look, while we're D&D focused, we love games, so send us any type of requests for different types of articles. We'll try to do those because a lot of people who are working on this magazine or fanzine play lots of different games. As you can see this time, there's quite a variety of stuff. The mail this time is just a bunch of, it's kind of a love fest. Everybody telling how much they like the fanzine. Once again, someone asked about back issues, which they say, no, we can't. We don't have them. We just gave them all away. Didn't keep any. Then Robert Zuck's got this discussion of chess. It's historically a little bit interesting, right? Because he's talking about the young guy, 20-year-old Gary Kasparov, who's going to challenge the current grandmaster in the World Chess Championship. And he talks about a recent match that he played in. Creator Quest is, as I said, is for RuneQuest, and it's just statting up some monsters, which I found to be, fairly typical monsters. You've got lizard men, different sizes, types of giant spiders. The Hinzado, which to me sounded like a sturge, these sort of big blood-sucking flying creatures. Harpies, the Pegasus, and the Cyclops are the monsters they cover there. In the Abyss is I mentioned John Frazer started last time right with the Seven Heavens, and now he's gone to the sort of other extreme and talking about the Abyss, the deepest, darkest, and most unpredictable plane on the outer circle. He mentions that if you're chaotic evil and you die, you have a chance to become, your soul will probably travel here and you may become some type of a demon. He gives you some ideas for names you could use, and then he's got sort of a random encounter table for you to roll on. Probably has a little too likely that you would encounter, like Tiamat, even though it's only a 1% chance. It seems still too high if you're rolling every hour. Demon Prince, 1% chance to do that. So anyway, that's all he's got. Pretty short and sweet. A place where no one can hear you scream. This is his discussion of torture. It's really funny because, funny probably not the right word, odd that he says, I really don't like this topic. And yet he picked it and wrote about it. So, and he talks basically about different types of torture that were used historically. He explains a little bit about like what they were, and he's also got this system of how much damage you take, both sort of immediate damage and whether you have any long-term effects from the different types of torture. And then he goes through and he's got these different pictures. You got thumb screws, sort of hot tallow, right? It's poured over you. The Tinder's volcano where they burned your hands. You got the iron cage, the rack, and dunking, which my son probably would think would be fun, except for the fact that apparently it was done in freezing cold water. All right, then we have Gary Harper's game review and Ian Batchelor's product review. And so Gary Harper is looking at this thing called Stratomatic Baseball, and he defends putting it in this fanzine by saying basically, just because you play RPGs doesn't mean you don't play anything else. And he just finds this game to be really, really well done. It's like a simulation for playing baseball with the real players, the real managers from the Major League Baseball in America. And then Harn has just come out. And I've got several of these things because I haven't read them through really carefully, but just looking at them, it looks like a really great set of products that were put out by Columbia Games. And this is the very first one. It's got the description of what's on this island. And for those of you familiar with it, comes a lot of other products come along later. And they obviously these guys like both these products really well. Here's the interview with the man behind Cerebus. If you've never read this guy's cartoon, you can buy sort of anthology books. I think it's pretty good. Here's an addition. He says, Frazer says this was left out last time in his discussion of the Seven Heavens. It's got his encounter table, and then some spells don't work the same here on that plane, and he describes which ones don't work at all or if they work with different effects. Have You Ever is their regular feature, and this time it's an elven magic user thief in the catacombs of a fire giant's keep. And as we have with every issue of First Encounter, if you stick around to the end of our discussion of the fanzine, I will play through this Have You Ever, and you guys can play along with me. It's really easy to do. You just need to read along with the choices and then annotate what happens to your hit points. That's really the only thing you need to track. And these are really great. As I said, I call it an innovation. I think it's something I haven't really seen anywhere else in any other fanzine, and it makes this one stand out. It's very memorable, and I think it's really interesting. Then Eric Hotz has got an article on painting tips, and if you like miniatures, I like miniatures. He talks here, gives you some tips about how to paint your miniatures. And then we have a couple of articles here. Chris Brayshaw has for Heroes Only. It's a discussion of having a secret identity in any type of hero game, whether it's champions, villains, vigilantes, etc. And he says basically you should. He says in his campaign, villains have a roll every month to see if they have a sort of a nemesis, to see if they discover the secret identity of the hero that's always been causing them trouble. He's got some modifiers there based on what, like, you tell people. You always pop up right when somebody, like the person's there, and the next thing you know, that person runs away and the hero shows up. That might help. And then Eric Holtz has an article of historical trivia where he just describes the Battle of Little Bighorn, just as a matter of, I think, historical interest. Cam Munn has DMs Only, a great little column. It's been in several of these, short and sweet, and just one particular topic. So I really like the way he does that. It's very manageable, right? And so this one is on shopkeepers and reaction rolls. And he says basically you should roll a reaction roll, and based on that, they might really like your characters. They might give them a better deal, both in terms of what they'll pay and also what they'll sell for. And then if they have a bad reaction, they'll maybe won't sell at all, or they'll sell for higher prices, and will buy for lower prices, right? I do this in my campaign. You've got the posted prices, and then, so two things I do, right? One is different cities maybe are more expensive, just sort of like drawing on real life experience. Maybe the big city things are a little more expensive unless you go to a seedier part of town. And in smaller towns, maybe things are a little cheaper. And then the other thing is because you're always trying to, I think, find places in the game where you can show the characters, hey, charisma actually matters. It's usually considered a dumb stat unless you're trying to play a paladin or maybe a druid. And if you can find more ways to make that work in your game, I've seen some other articles talking about ways you should do that, and the fact that you should do that and make your characters realize that the person with a good charisma needs to sort of, be the one to go talk, and it gives that person who puts points into that stat, to have a reason to do that. So anyway, you have a reaction roll, and you have some impact on what you're able to get for your stuff. Gamma rays, remember in Gamma World, sometimes the mutations aren't all spelled out. It's sort of left up to the referee to think about it. So he tries to give you some charts you can use for different types of mutations. Chris Douglas has this article for Traveler to allow you to have weapon vehicle-based combat. How to install weapons like laser blasters and armor and all that kind of stuff on your vehicle. So it has a system there. I never played Traveler, but I certainly think that's a fun thing to add. All right, now we have a quiz. And this is honest to goodness, game quiz, different types of games, not just Dungeons and Dragons, okay? All right, so here you can play along with me and see what you think. I certainly did not get these all right. In diplomacy, what country is represented by a red playing piece? Okay, is it A, Russia, B, England, or C, Austria-Hungary? You got your answer? Correct answer is C, Austria-Hungary. Number 2, in the game of Risk, what country cannot attack China because of its borders? A, Japan, B, Mongolia, or C, Siberia? Ready? The correct answer is A, Japan. I got that one right. In Squad Leader, what army has the most officers in proportion to squads? Most officers in proportion to squads. A, Americans, B, Germans, C, Russians. Okay, correct answer is A, Americans. I got that right, but that was a total guess. I've never played that. In the game of Trivial Pursuit, how many pieces of the pie do you need to win before going to the hub? A5, B6, C4. Correct answer is B6. That one I knew. Played a lot of Trivial Pursuit back in the day. In Traveler, which service is the hardest to re-enlist into? A, the Navy, B, the Marines, C, Army. Correct answer, C, Army. With the game Top Secret, what bureau is represented by the code name 00? A, assassination, B, confiscation, C, investigation. Correct answer, A, assassination, just like James Bond 007. In chess, what piece can move over any other piece? A, the queen, B, the rook, C, the knight. Correct answer, C, knight. What class can cast Druidic and Magic User spells at higher level in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons? Is that A, the Bard, B, the Ranger, or C, the magic user cleric? Correct answer, B, the ranger. With the game Wooden Ships and Iron Men, which nation has, on average, the best crew? A, France, B, United States, C, Great Britain. Correct answer is C, Great Britain. Got that one right. That was also a guess. And number 10, in American Monopoly, American version, because I think in different countries, some of this stuff changes a little. What is the second railroad encountered after starting the game, right? So there's one right in the middle. So what's the second one you come to? A, B&O, B, Reading, C, Pennsylvania. The correct answer is C, Pennsylvania. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right, although 2 of those were guesses. How did you all do? Let me know in the comments. Okay, one more article. This is Boot Hill by Eric Hotz, and he's enjoying the game Boot Hill. He thinks it's, clearly it's not Dungeons and Dragons. He said it's not meant to be, but it's a good, different type of game, right? A lot of shootouts and saloon showdowns and stuff like that. He changes a little bit about the chance to increase the severity of hit, because he said there's too much parity between things that would do a lot of different amounts of damage. Like he said, some of these big rifles and a knife. He doesn't think it's right that the damage is the same. And then he also has some particular weapons he wants to add to the game here. He talks about the Colt revolver, which is a super famous pistol, and then this Colt revolver with telescopic sights, which he talks about how to use that in your game, the revolver carbine, and 6-barreled pepper box. And then a couple of issues now. Eric has been doing this cartoon, but it's as an advertisement for one of the game shops that advertised in the magazine. Now he's gone full-blown, just a comic for the back of the magazine, sort of like Wormy was in Dragon. And so this is the adventures of Rick and Gary. And he says, we've been down this dungeon for hours and not a single sign of the giant rat. The villagers who sold us the map sure were scared of something. And Gary says, I'm not afraid of giant rats. I've slain many of those in my day. And then Rick says, did you hear that noise? Look, something's coming around the corner. And you're the big rat exterminator, Gary. Get up there, right? He goes, well, last time we fought him, there were 11 of us. Oh my God, it's... And then it's Mickey Mouse. Strange, giant rats I fought before were a little different, Rick, but bump. And here on the back cover, Harn, which got reviewed this issue, interestingly enough, has bought the full back page ad of First Encounter. Okay, so that is it for this look at First Encounter. First Encounter number 8 from August of 1983. Unfortunately, the last First Encounter that got put out. I've mentioned this in some of my videos, not all of them. If you go into the comments down below, there's a great interview with Kelly Villemaire and Eric Hotz on the Grog Talk channel, which, by the way, has great videos and podcasts. And they talk with him about his recollections of this. It's a really good interview. So that's it for First Encounter. That wraps up this series. Next week, we will take a look at a different fanzine, so I'm looking forward to that. And now if you're sticking around, we're going to do the Have You Ever playthrough. Okay. Have you ever? Today we're doing Have You Ever Played an Elven Magic User Thief in the Catacombs of a Fire Giant's Keep? Magic User Thief, Fire Giant's Keep. Okay. Art by Oliver Thomas. He's drawn this little elf here. And who's our character? Verdi Lightfoot, 4th level magic user, 10th level thief, elf. 60 hit points again, just like the druid last week. Strength 15, intelligence 17, wisdom 12, dexterity 17, constitution 7, charisma 14. Has thief skills, pickpocket, find, remove traps, move silent, hide in shadows, hear noise, climb walls, read languages. Magic user spells and scrolls. 1st level spells. Jump, magic missile ×2, spider climb. Knock, stinking cloud, scare. Fireball, gust of wind, lightning bolt. Speaks elvish, common, troll, halfling, orc, goblin. +3 dagger, +5 cloak of protection. Has a blue rock which can be used only once. will cause a 10 by 10 foot smoke screen, creating no heat, blocking vision of any creature except elves and undead, demons, golems, oozes, slimes, jellies, and elementals. Creatures caught in the area are blinded for 1 to 3 melee rounds. So there's your character. If you haven't done this before, Kelly points out that sometimes you just have to pick the best answer, and even the best answer, you're still going to take damage, but you take less. Okay, so it's kind of like some of those tests you used to take in middle school and high school. These are designed to test. It's a fun way to test your knowledge of the spells, of the character class skills, racial skills, and the monsters, traps, tricks you encounter. I think the way to play through this, the way I play through this is we don't open any books, right? You can't look at the monster manual. You can't look at the player's handbook to read descriptions of spells, because that's part of the test, is to see how well you really know what these different things are, and so you can pick the right one. Okay, so let us get started. After finishing your ale at the Rooster's Crow pub, you decide that the story you heard there might be worth looking into. After all, a magical golden flute that charms anything must be worth a bit to someone, and since it is magical, it wouldn't hurt to keep it for yourself either. Problem is, this flute belongs to Goron, the fire giant, in the old Belling Caves over the hills. Since you always say, Verity's the name, adventuring's the game, you grab your supplies and get ready to leave early the next morning. In the morning you get a late start, but nevertheless you didn't forget anything. You travel for hours, and around noon you see from a plateau the hills that hold the Belling Cave. You decide to stop for a while and rest under a huge cherry tree, 6 feet thick and 100 feet tall. After sitting at the trunk of the tree and chewing on some huge cherries, 4 feet wide, for a while, you think you hear something and quickly turn around and see a giant skunk 10 feet away. Obviously, it likes cherries as well. However, upon spotting you, it growls and turns towards you. You have just enough time to quickly climb the tree, getting out of its range and spray, and wait until it leaves. 85% chance of, thief skills. Cast magic missile and run away. Cast gust of wind as it sprays and run away. Attack with your dagger. Throw your blue rock and run away. Cast spider climb and go up the tree fast, getting out of range and wait till it leaves. Cast scare and chase it away. Give it its own medicine. Cast stinking cloud and try to run away. Cast jump, then jump as far as possible. Well, this could be a mistake, but I'm going to try and climb the tree based on my thief skills. Oh, well, this is a new one. Now I'm supposed to roll. That's never been the case before, but, I always have some dice around, so let's see what happens here. 42. All right, so I roll, I climb up, no problem. Cast magic missile, run away. You injure it, run away, but there are results, damage. Cast gust of wind, good choice, you get away. Attack with a dagger, you'll take 6 hit points of damage, double damage from fights as the cloak of protection is now rotted, and you stink, so no surprise attacks. Throw the blue rock, it works, you get away. Cast spider climb, it works, you get away. Cast scare and run away, that works, no damage. Stinking cloud, you make it stink, but it gets you as well. You take 6 points, and also now you stink the rest of the adventure. Cast jump and jump, that works, and you get away. All right. As you leave the tree and move towards the hill, you recollect the tales told of what lies ahead. How to enter the keep safely, one must go through the catacombs entrance by the side of the hill. Since 2 trolls guard the front entrance, you prefer to use this hopefully unpopular catacomb entrance. It's unbelievable. The entrance was where it was said to be, and is camouflaged with vines and bushes. This is going to be a piece of cake, you think to yourself. With your infravision, you see no heat source in this earthen tunnel. It is said it leads up about 45 feet to a huge rock panel, which is actually a secret door. By Ingra, as you move up to the 40-foot mark, there it is, a 5x5 panel. You hit the hidden lever that was half buried under some dirt, and the panel moves slowly to the left. You quickly go through it and close it behind you. As your eyes adjust to your newly lit torch, you see an old dusty corridor with 20-foot high ceilings running in both directions. Obviously not much use lately. You decide to take the north route, which leads up to 100 feet into an old chamber and a dead end. At the entrance to this chamber, you see that the room is occupied by a large blackened corpse situated on a rock slab in the middle of the room. Near the doorway, you detect a trap, a concealed pit to be precise. The corpse in the room is a long-dead fire giant. Also in this 50 by 50 foot room is a table in the northeast part of the room and a small chair in the northwest part of the room. On the table is what looks like a scroll, and on the small chair is another scroll. On the ceiling is, ugh, green slime. There's always a catch to the plans. The green slime envelops the entire ceiling, you notice, and just then you hear something moving in the hallway behind you. You quickly decide to toss Fireball in the room, walk up to the scroll on the table, grab it, and run back out, avoiding the pit, reading it as the creature approaches. Cast Spider Climb, walk on the walls to get the scroll on the chair, grab it, leave the room, back to the doorway, attempt to hide in shadows until the creature passes. Cast Jump over to the scroll on the chair, pick it up, and goad the approaching creature to attack, thus falling into the pit, then jump back to the doorway. Hide in shadows, then attack the approaching creature with a newly lit torch. Forget this room and move back to see what approaching creature is with a dagger and torch in hand. Throw a fireball down the hall and forget the room and move ahead to see the victim. Well, the fireball would kill, right, the green slime, I think. But it would also burn everything up, I would also think. I'm not sure how that works. If it covers the entire ceiling, it seems to me that climbing on the walls or even jumping to the chair, you're still going to get the slime still falling on you, right? It covers the entire ceiling, so I'm not sure how anything going in there helps you get away. So that all seems like a bad idea to me. So I'm going to hide in shadows to attack the creature. Let's see what happens. Okay, if you throw the fireball, everything is burnt, including the scroll, so you're going to end up fighting a troll and take damage. Spider Climb works. You get a fireball scroll, but the oncoming troll is improvised attacks. Use your dagger and take 24 hit points of damage. That's interesting. Cast Jump. That'll work. That'll work. No damage. The troll falls in the pit. You end up with a fireball scroll. The creature sees you and attack. You get your torch lit, but still take 10 hit points of damage. That was my choice. Run back down and attack. You attack the troll, take 9 hit points of damage. And then throw a fireball down the hallway without even seeing it. Would kill the troll. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm surprised somehow the green slime only apparently falls if you're on the floor, but not on the walls. Interesting. All right. You go back in the other direction. You see it leads to another chamber the same size as the one you left, except the corridor continues through this one. From the doorway, the room appears totally empty with the exception of some bones in the southwest corner. The cavern silence is abruptly halted by a loud, continuous scream that seems to be coming from the corridor ahead. You quickly put out your torch, let your infravision adjust, where you see the heated outline of a tall humanoid slowly approaching through the ongoing corridor towards the chamber and towards you. It looks like possibly an ogre from the opposite doorway. You decide to cast Magic Missile, run in, attack with a dagger. Hide in shadows, wait till it walks by, backstab it. When it enters the chamber, cast Stinking Cloud, hold your breath, and run past it. Cast Spider Climb, climb up the ceiling, wait till it walks by, then leave with your dagger in case it returns. Throw the blue rock, move silently by, leave the chamber. Cast Lightning Bolt, attack with the dagger. Cast Jump, and when it nears you, jump over it, then cast Scare so it runs away from you. Hold your dagger in case it doesn't work. Cast Fireball, then attack if it's still alive. So I'm going to, I think I will cast Spider Climb, see what happens. All right. Magic Missile. You injure it quite a bit. You take 10 hit points before fleeing from this troll. Hide in shadows. It sees you trying to hide, gets initiative. You take 25 hit points of damage. Cast Stinking Cloud and run by. It works, no damage, you flee. Cast Spider Climb. The troll sees you climbing and attacks you. Well, I didn't think that was, I thought that could have been explained a little better. You throw the magic blue rock, it sees you and attacks. Lightning Bolt, it works, you don't take any damage. Scare doesn't work on the troll, it attacks, take 26 points of damage. And Fry with Fireball, that works. Okay. You move down the corridor. You see what caused the scream. Blocking the 10-foot wide dirt tunnel is a shrieker, and since it's still screaming, you decide to run past it. As you proceed running down the corridor with a lit torch, you keep seeing more and more of these. You set more and more of these accursed things howling. You keep running until you almost run right into an oncoming troll. So you quickly turn around and run. As you make distance, you put out your torch and decide to climb the wall so it will run by you as you wait on the ceiling. The creature stops right beneath you and gives an ugly grin. It has improvision too. It can't reach you, but it isn't fun watching for it to leave, so you quickly jump down, run back a few feet, and pull out your dagger and attack. Cast Magic Missile and run in the direction it came from. Use the Fireball scroll you found in room B, which I didn't. Cast Scare on it, then run in the direction it came from. Cast Gust of Wind and tell it to leave you alone or die, and light a torch at the same time. Cast Stinking Cloud on it and run in the direction it came from, holding your breath. Cast Lightning Bolt and attack with your dagger. I guess I'll cast Stinking Cloud. Let's see what happens. You attack it, you take 20 hit points. Cast Magic Missile, slows it down, you get away. Fireball kills it. Scare doesn't work, it attacks, 24 points of damage. Gust of Wind doesn't do anything, it's 25 hit points of damage. Stinking Cloud, run away, that works, no damage. Lightning Bolt kills it. No? Yeah. Okay. You move down the corridor, using your infravision for sight again. You notice the tunnel finally starts to slope up, and about 100 feet away you see a light up ahead. You quietly move up close to where it is coming from. There is a large room with walls made of stone, and so is the floor. In the large room is a large fireplace on the southeast wall with a small fire burning in it. Also in the room is a huge table with a mace on it, 2 large chairs, a barrel, and a large round mat with 2 rust-colored man-size dogs on it. One is sound asleep, the other slightly awake, perhaps a bit restless due to the troll patrols. You quietly move into the room, hiding in shadows and moving silently to the huge door in the room. You attempt to open it, but it won't budge, and to boot, it makes a noise as one of the dogs sits up and looks around. All right. What do? Run over, grab the mace, attack the dogs, which you wouldn't be proficient with. Cast Magic Missile on both dogs, attack with a dagger, then pick the lock. Cast Fireball, pick the lock. Slip into the shadows, wait to see if it falls asleep. If not, attack with a dagger. Cast Spider Climb, move silently up the wall, wait for it to go back to sleep, then pick the lock. Cast Stinking Cloud on them, hold your breath, pick the door before they attack. Cast Knock on the door, and leave before it attacks. Cast Lightning, attack with the dagger. Cast Scare, pick the lock. I'll cast Knock. I have it, why not? Let's see what happens. If you grab the mace, it falls apart in your hands, then you end up fighting, take 25 hit points of damage. Magic Missile helps, take 12 hit points of damage. Fireball. Fire doesn't seem to do the damage, and you take 12 hit points. Try to slip into the shadows. They see you, take 25 hit points. These are hellhounds. Cast Spider Climb and Climb. It doesn't go back to sleep. It barks. It wakes up the other one. They both attack. You take 26 hit points. Stinking Cloud. That'll work. Cast Knock. That works. Cast Lightning. It kills one. The other one wakes up and attacks you for 11 hit points of damage. Or Cast Scare. It does work on the hellhounds, and you get away. Okay. After you decide to leave, after picking the lock on the door, and it opens where you see a 20-foot wide corridor that goes down 60 feet to a dead end. At the end is a door to the right, a door to the left. You listen to each of them. You hear nothing at any of them. You decide I will go left. Why not? See section J. This is a little bit like a pick-a-path. So that's, one of the things about Kelly's design. There was never any, go here, go there. It's just linear. So this is a new wrinkle. All right, I went left, so let's go to J. Skipping G is F, G, H. We'll skip those. Those look kind of scary. Okay, section J. Behind the door, you see many skeletons chained to the walls, ceiling and floor of the 40 by 40 room. Halfling, elven, and human skeletons, obviously slaves. To your knowledge, fire giants don't like to keep slave humans or otherwise. You check the walls for secret doors and you find one in the southeast corner of the room. It leads to a 3 by 3 wide dirt tunnel, which goes up towards the main keep. You decide to go in and follow it until it hits a large wooden panel. How original. You push it and sure enough it opens. Beyond the panel is a large 60 by 60 room, which seems to be kept quite well. A large bed is made, tables cleaned, no dust on the floor, no smell of any kind. You believe this would be Goron's bedroom. 2 doors seem to enter this room, and you decide to see what lies behind them. Opening the first door, you're hit with a putrid smell, followed by the sight of a large blackened corpse in this closet. Not any corpse, though. This is the corpse of Goron, the fire giant. Who could have killed him? There are no marks on him. You search him, of course you do, for the flute, but find only a couple of copper pieces. Suddenly you hear footsteps coming from the other doorway, and you quickly hide in the closet with the corpse. Looking through a crack in the door, you see 2 trolls come in and say, "I'm sure I heard something in here." The other troll says, "Let's check the place out then." As they both bend over and look under the large bed, you decide to cast Fireball at them from the closet and leave the room quickly via your entrance. Bolt for the doorway, run past them quickly and scare, run with the dagger, cast Magic Missile, run with the torch, cast Lightning Bolt in one, attack the other. Quietly leave the closet, hide in shadows, move silently to the doorway and leave. Throw the blue rock, cast Stinking Cloud, run past them, attack with your dagger, cast Spider Climb, move silently and climb up away, cast Jump, jump over them. I haven't done it yet, so I cast Fireball. I'm going to use that eventually. Fries them, you take no damage. Run quickly, you get past them, it doesn't work, they kill you. Magic Missile, good choice, but you take 30 hit points of damage. Lightning Bolt, good choice, 26 hit points of damage. Quietly leave, they see you, they attack, 35 hit points of damage. Throw the blue rock, doesn't do anything, they attack, 35 hit points of damage. Cast Stinking Cloud, that will work and you get away. Attack with your dagger, that'll work, but you take 59 hit points of damage. Cast Spider Climb, they see you, you take 35 hit points of damage, or cast Jump and jump over them, that'll work, you get away. I was always taught to never leave anything behind you, because they'll come after you, but here we go. Beyond the door is another corridor 20 feet high with stone walls which have torches held in racks along it for illumination. So you do not have to worry about carrying your torch. You move on down the corridor until it reaches an opening into an open courtyard outside. A pebble walkway continues from where the corridor leaves off. In the courtyard is a large oak tree, and under is a 12-foot-tall iron man-like figure with a sword in his hand. Behind him is a small old man with a flute in his hand. As you quietly walk up behind them, the old man quickly turns to you when you get to be about 10 feet away and says, "You want this flute like the others, don't you? Well, you will die for it like Goron." He then whispers something into the ear of the metallic giant, which slowly approaches you with its sword raised in its huge hand. As you brace yourself for the attack, the old man runs to the wall surrounding the courtyard, pushes the wall, exposing a small secret door. As the large metallic creature approaches about 5 feet away from you, he breathes out a large cloud of green gas. Good grief. What do? Cast Fireball or use a scroll and attack. Cast Magic Missile and attack. Cast Lightning and attack. Cast Jump over to the stone wall and chase the old man. Cast Gust of Wind and attack with a dagger. Cast Gust of Wind, then Fireball, then run to the door. Throw the blue stone, run past to the door and chase after him. Attack with a dagger. Cast Lightning, run to the wall and chase the old man. Cast Scare and chase the old man. Well, I want to chase the old man, but I feel like I should be casting Gust of Wind because of the nasty green cloud, right? And so I would do Gust of Wind and Fireball, but I don't have, because that lets me run. I don't have Fireball, technically. So I guess I'm going to cast Jump, because that's going to let me go after the guy. Let's see what happens. All right, Fireball doesn't do anything. You die from the poisonous gas. Magic Missiles. Damage a little bit, you die from poisonous gas. Cast Lightning Bolt, slows it down, you die from poisonous gas. Cast Jump, no damage. Excellent choice. Well, thank you very much. All right. Gust of Wind attack. The wind blows the gas, and you take 58 hit points, which would have killed me. Gust of Wind blows with the gas. Fireball does nothing. It attacks and kills you. The blue stone does nothing. It attacks you, 49 hit points of damage. Attack with your dagger. Great choice, you die from poisonous gas. Cast Lightning and run away. Lightning slows it down and you get by. Cast Scare does nothing and you die. All right. After you go through the secret door and close it quickly behind you, you notice immediately a stairway going down 20 feet to a large metal door slightly opened. You peek in the room to see a boiling cauldron, an overturned table, a bed, a large book rack, and the old man, no, a wizard. He is waiting your arrival as he is quickly concocting some type of potion. Obviously, he hadn't heard you come in. You're a thief. You decide to attack from behind. Just as you're about to open the door, out from the shadows appears a large figure cloaked in black. The figure moves in behind the occupied wizard and assassinates him. You can't see any blood hit the floor, but you do hear a large crack as this person descends upon the unwary wizard. The assassin, after finishing his job, turns to you as the wizard's body drops to the floor. "Where is the flute?" demands the assassin. As he pulls off his cloth, this loathsome troll drools as he approaches you, constantly demanding the flute. You back into the stairway, where it follows you, getting angrier by the second. Bewildered, all you can say is, "I don't," before you realize he's going to kill you for it, whether you have it or not. So you cast Fireball, or use a scroll and attack. Cast Magic Missile and attack with a dagger. Cast Scare, run in the room, and have it back upstairs. Outside, hold the dagger in hand in case this fails. Cast Lightning Bolt, attack with a dagger. Cast Stinking Cloud, run past it, locking the door behind you. Attack immediately with your dagger. Throw the blue rock, run past it, lock the door. Cast Gust of Wind, attack with a dagger. Oh, I see. So the Scare would cause it to back up. But Scare, I guess I've read these answers. Maybe I shouldn't. I know the Scare hasn't worked on any troll so far. But that would have been good if you could back him up into the Iron Golem. All right. So, Lightning Bolt does more damage than Magic Missile. So I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt, and then I guess I attack him, right? Yeah. All right. Fireball, of course, doesn't kill him. Take 3 hit points of damage. Magic Missile, good, only takes 7 hit points of damage. Scare doesn't work. It attacks you, you die. Lightning doesn't work. Oh, no, lightning does work. Lightning Bolt, it attacks, no damage. Stinking Cloud, run past it, lock the door. That'll work, no damage. Attack with a dagger, 40 hit points. Throw the blue rock, it obstructs him, you get by, lock him in, no damage. Gust of Wind doesn't do anything, he kills you. All right, so I cast Lightning Bolt. I'm almost out of spells, I better be almost done. After checking the room thoroughly, the result is a big mess and no flute. Somehow you sense a secret door in the northeast wall, so you check it and sure enough you find it. After opening it, revealed is a 20 by 20 room. In the center of the room is a stone slab 6 by 6 with a flute on it, although in a steel cage with a lock on it. You look above the doorway, and a doorway and stone slab where hanging by a rope is a huge wooden spiked ball. The spiked ball trap is probably triggered when pressure is applied on the floor tiles. The problem is that the floor tiles are red, green, and yellow. Which one triggers the trap? Red, green, yellow? Any of them? The walls are smooth, have small holes in them, which you don't detect to be traps, but is definitely climbable. At the doorway, you detect a 10 by 10 concealed pit. For some reason, the entire area starts to shake violently, so you walk on the red tiles to the stone slab after trying to remove the floor pit trap, pick the lock on the cage, grab the flute and run to a door. Walk on the green tiles, same thing. Climb the smooth wall over to the stone slab, drop on it, pick the lock. Simply walk to the cage, pick the lock and run away. Pull out your dagger, run to the slab, pick the lock, run back. Climb the smooth wall over to the stone slab, drop on it, pick the lock, then climb the wall back to the doorway. That was the weird one, right? The first one says climb the wall, drop on it, pick the lock, and then didn't do anything. I guess you stood there for the rest of your life. Walk on the yellow tiles to the slab, remove pit trap, pick the lock, grab the flute, run away. Walk on the red tiles to the stone slab, remove the floor pit trap, cast knock, grab the flute, run back. Walk on the yellow tiles, cast knock, run back. Cast spider climb, walk on the walls of the slab, pick the lock, and walk on the walls back. Cast jump to the slab, pick the lock, and then jump back. Interesting. So I do wonder whether the holes let something like oil out to spill all over me, but I'm out of spells that have any use. I don't like to try and guess the tiles, so I will pick option 6, climb the walls, drop on it, pick the lock, and climb back. And my climb walls, it says is 99%, so I rolled a 99, just made it. All right, so pick the lock, 77, well I didn't, so I don't know. I guess I'd try again, I'm not sure, because they didn't really give me another option. And then I was able to get back. All right, so let's see what it says, because it doesn't really say what to do if I fail my pick lock try. So I'm going to make a ruling. I can keep trying, I guess. I don't know. What happens? The pit trap doesn't work, so that's no problem. Walking on red tiles does trigger the trap. 10 darts shoot out from the walls. Okay. It doesn't say what happens to you. That's odd. The floor pit doesn't work, it's broken. Walking on tiles results in spiked ball falling on you, and you does 38 points of damage. It's interesting, it said the red one triggered the trap, but it didn't say how much damage you took. No problem, walk back to the doorway, trigger the dart trap, it does 28 points of damage. Climb the walls. No problem in climbing if successful. If you fall, you take 38 hit points from the spike ball that drops on top of you. If you try and get the lock and are successful, no problem, but on the way back, you take 28 points from darts in the wall. There's your door. Pit trap doesn't open, it doesn't work. You walk on the tile, spike ball falls on you, 38 hit points of damage. When you run back, you trigger the darts. You don't fall on the trip because it doesn't work. Walking triggers the spike trap, 30 hit points of damage, 20 hit points from darts. Now here we like a good choice. 38 hit points from the spike ball. If you fail, you climb walls. If you fail, climbing rolls back. You fall on the floor, triggering a dart trap, and take 16 hit points of damage. The pit trap doesn't work. Okay, number 7, pit trap doesn't work, but the tiles trigger the trap, 30 hit points of damage, and 20 hit points from darts. And on, right? Well, no, the floor pit trap doesn't work. Ball trap, 30 hit points, 20 hit points from darts. So basically 58 hit points if you walk over and back. Spider climb, no damage. Jump, no damage. All right. Coming back into the wizard room again, you sense another secret door which opens and leads down to a narrow dirt tunnel, small opening, and you get to the village. Successful or not. All right, so I had 24 hit points left. I survive. We skipped 2 rooms, which you've never been able to do before. So I'm going to flip back real quick to the doors. All right, so let's just see what G was. Behind this door is another corridor, 10 feet wide, 10 feet high. It has rock-faced walls and ceiling. You proceed down the corridor with a lit torch. About 200 feet, it comes to a dead end. After searching for a secret door, you decide to go back. You turn around and see 2 elves 20 feet away. You greet them with eagerness, but they say nothing and knock their bows. You see they are in a trance, charmed somehow, and decide it's them or you. So you cast Fireball, cast Scare, cast Jump, cast Magic Missile, throw the blue rock Smoke Bomb. I think it said that elves could see through it. Cast Stinking Cloud, put out your torch and move silently past them with a dagger. Overbear them, cast Lightning Bolt, or attack with your dagger. Well, I had never used Scare, so I guess that's what I would try. Fireball, it works. Elves do not scare. You take 8 hit points of damage from arrows before you kill them. The hall is not high enough to jump. You bang your head. Take 3 hit points damage and 8 from arrows. Magic Missile works. You can kill them. They see through the smoke. I think 16 hit points. Stinking Cloud works. You try to sneak past them. They see you. 6 hit points. Overbear them. 6 hit points. Lightning Bolt kills them. Attack with the dagger. 9 hit points. All right, let's go to our other room. Behind this door is a large rock cavern with many stalactites and stalagmites. You notice the 40 by 40 cavern has an odd smell, and a strange green mist slowly circulates on the ground. You move to the other end of the cavern and check for secret exits, but find nothing. You turn around to see a large creature with 6 tentacles slowly blocking the doorway. You cast Fireball, attack with the damage, attack with the dagger, overbear it, that's not going to happen. Attack with your dagger, cast Lightning Bolt, run past it, attack with a torch and dagger, throw the blue smoke bomb and run past it, cast Magic Missile and run past it, cast Spider Climb and go around it, cast Stinking Cloud and run past it. Given the few spells I have, I never use my blue rock, so I'll do that here. Alright, Fireball. Damages it, but it still pulls you in and does 18 points of damage before you get away. Overbear. No, doesn't do anything. You get eaten. Attack with the dagger. You kill it, but take 39 hit points. Lightning Bolt has no effect. Take 40 hit points. Attack with a torch and dagger. The torch works, keeping it at bay. You still take 19 hit points. The blue rock. It works. You get by, no damage. Magic Missile does damage, but it grabs you and devours you. Spider Climb. It reaches up and gets a hold of you. You take 42 hit points of damage. Stinking Cloud. Hold your breath and run past. That'll work. No damage. All right, so there's a Roper. Love those guys. Those are really cool monsters. All right, so that's the complete. Let's pop back through here. That's the complete Have You Ever Played adventure from the final First Encounter fanzine from August of 1983. Hope you all have enjoyed our look at the First Encounter fanzine. Hope you're enjoying the series. Hope you're having a good Friday. Have a great weekend. Till next time, my friends, keep rolling 20s.